In this video, I'm going to walk you through a concept called developing the character. Now, this is going to be one of the most important identity shifts that you can go through when it comes to reaching new levels, not just within your life, but also your business as well. Now, if we haven't met before, my name is Josh Bowers, and I've been in the online coaching space since December of 2019. I've made a bit over $1.5 million in cash collected now across 2 different coaching offers. My first one was called the Bikini Body Project. This was an all-women's transformation program. Had about 300 girls go through it. At its peak, it had 100 active clients with no team supporting it besides myself. I then jumped the fence in July of 2023 to start Freedom Coach, which is now helping other online fitness coaches scale online using a combination of conversion content and hyper-targeted ads. Now, the purpose of these videos is just to show you all the things that have worked for me over the years, the things that haven't, and then what I'm currently doing in my business now and also my clients as well. Now, when we dive into this 10.0 version, when people read this first line, they often jump to like the 10th iteration or like the 10th version of you. This is not that. What I'm talking about here is having a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the greatest, and that's what I want you to be striving for, is who is the ultimate version of yourself, the absolute greatest version you could be. I want you striving for that. So keep that in the back of your mind as we go through some of these questions here. But let me explain the difference between how and who in business. Most people get stuck chasing how to grow their business when the real shift is becoming the person who can operate at that level. What this means is adopting the identity of someone further along than you, not just in revenue, but in lifestyle and mindset. Find someone whose life you would actually want, study what they focus on, and start emulating those inputs. Success follows identity. This is huge. A lot of people will take advice from people who are not even in a position that they want to be in. So an example of this is you would never take financial advice from a homeless person, and you would probably never take, competition prep advice from an obese person. So be very, very discerning with who you choose to listen to and who you look at modeling in life. Because this concept is really important to understand, is you need to essentially look at people who are further along than you are, study what they do, and essentially start copying those things or modeling those things. But if you shoot for someone, let's say, that's got 5 supercars, a 10-bedroom mansion in Miami, and they live a very materialistic lifestyle, if you're looking at someone like that and you're like, they must be successful, I'm going to copy them and be like them, but you, in your actual core, you don't want to be like that, then you shouldn't be emulating that type of person. If you do, then go for it. So you must seek alignment with people who are in positions that you genuinely want to be in. Study what they do and then start implementing those things. Once you now know that person or those people that you look up to, that you want to start emulating those things, you need to answer some of these questions here because you need to have full clarity on who that person actually is so you can start to do those things, right? So this is where we start to get clear. So how does he or she think? How does he or she eat? What habits is he or she free of? So this is a really big one. Like all these questions here are really big if you ask me. But if you think about like the thinking element, is the person who's doing $80,000 a month in their coaching business, do you think they're being reactive with their decision making? Probably not. Do you think they're being patient with their thinking? Probably. Do you think they're taking their time with making decisions that could potentially impact the business on like a substantial amount? Yes. Same thing with eating, right? If you're a fitness coach watching this, there's a pretty good chance that your diet is already relatively dialed in. And if you're not a fitness coach, but you're just a coach in general and you're interested in pushing your business, then you should already have your diet dialed in. But there still may be areas to refine here. And this is like stuff where you're like, oh yeah, Josh, I know that, but you don't do it. We can know a lot of shit, but implementing it, it's a completely different story. So there's a very big difference between knowing and doing. Just understand that. Next thing is like, what habits is he or she free of? Doom scrolling on a phone, this thing. Study your life now and look at the habits that you have and study the person who's ahead of you. What things do they do that you don't do? What things do you do that they don't do? Same thing here. What are you consistently doing? What traits define him or her? This is important. A lot of us have positive traits. A lot of us have negative traits. You can't just have all positive. We all are all going to have traits that are non-supportive and negative. But again, what are the traits that actually define you? One of the most important things that I think I've done, or impactful things is the better word, that I've done in my life, there's two things. The first one was getting close to God. The second thing was going to therapy. Like getting all of this just like past life up and out, getting clear of my childhood, any trauma that I had. And I didn't have a traumatic upbringing. I had a very healthy mother and father. They were separated, but there was a lot of past trauma in my lifestyle, in my life, where that has impacted how I've shown up in business. And now that I'm clear of those things, I've healed some areas of myself, I've worked on myself, I now can actually show up so much better in business. So there's going to be traits that you have that you may need to actually really go and unpack with someone to get those out of the way to reach new levels. What type of content does he or she consume? Is she sitting there every day scrolling, watching makeup reels and stupid videos? Or is he sitting there reading books on mindset and personal development? Like, what type of content does this individual consume? What does he or she no longer tolerate? This is a big one. This is all about setting boundaries. People who are doing better than you don't have more time. They have the exact same 24 hours, but they are a lot more efficient with their time. They are a lot more boundaried, which means they don't tolerate a lot of things. Maybe they don't tolerate how people talk to them. Maybe they don't tolerate getting messages after a certain time in the day or on a certain day of the week. There's going to be many things that you will now need to no longer tolerate to get to new levels. Usually, it's improvable by subtraction, which is meaning that you don't tolerate things. You become boundary. There's things that you actually stop doing. What does he or she need in his or her environment to thrive? This is a big one. If you don't have a mentor, if you don't have a community around you, you're going to have a hard time growing. This goes for business. This goes for your mindset. This goes for your faith if you're a man or woman of faith. This goes for your diet. This goes for any area that you are trying to excel in. If you don't have community around you, if you don't have supportive environments around you, you are not going to level up. If you're someone that's still going out every weekend and partying and you're at the club and you're popping bottles and stuff like that, again, you're not going to thrive. You need to be in environments to thrive. For me, I've personally moved my entire life to different countries through different seasons of life to be in that type of environment that's going to be conducive to what I'm trying to do. What strengths does the 10.0 version of me have? How does the 10.0 version present him or herself? So what do I actually look like? This is a big one. If your hair is a mess, like look at my hair, right? I'm bald, yeah? If you were to actually look at my hair, I have a receding hairline, right? I'm not ashamed to admit that. I've got it. I don't have any embarrassment around it. But if I let my hair grow out, it would look shit. Like I'm balding in the back and I'm balding in the front. Thanks, Dad. But in saying that, if I let my hair be all messy and my beard was all scraggly, why would someone want to pay me a lot of money when I don't look like I can be in control of my own life? Like if I can't even groom myself, then how can I expect to run a business that does $50,000 to $100,000 a month? It's just the facts. People don't want to admit these things. They don't want to say, oh, we do judge a book by its cover, or you shouldn't be judgmental. We are. It's the first thing that happens the second you look at someone. So how are you going to present yourself? How is your hair going to look? If you're like me and you have a receding hairline, just let it go. Maybe just shave it or go and get a hair transplant. Because if you have this really patchy looking hair or a really shitty looking beard, or let's say you're a girl and your hair's all frizzly because you've been unhealthy or whatever it is, these things seriously matter with how you present yourself online, and people do judge it. Exactly the same thing with how you dress, same thing with your body, the same thing with how you present, your body language. All of this stuff is important. What does the 10.0 version of you look like, and how do they present themselves? Clothing, hair, face, beard if you have a beard. Like every single thing about your presentation matters when it comes to reaching new levels. It seriously does. If you're still dressing like the 18-year-old version of yourself with big branded logos and all sorts of crazy colors and things like that, then again, I'd say that you probably need to let that season of life go and move mature season. But again, it's going to come down to what you want. What traits does this new character have? For example, are you driven? Are you powerful? Are you smart and classy? Or are you like procrastination? Like, are you someone that procrastinates a lot? Are you lazy? Are you scrappy? Are you like shy? Like, what kind of like traits does this new character have? List those out. Describe what the average day looks like for this new character. So this is a big one here. When I write this out, I start from the minute that I wake up to the minute that I go to bed. And I usually write it in like a calendar format where it's sort of like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. and I write out my whole day. I've been running the exact same day for almost 4 years now. I get up at 5:30, spend time with God in the morning, do my morning process, have a coffee, sit down and do work, eat some food, go to the gym, sit down and do another work block, cool off at the end of the day around 4, 5, 6, depending on when I'm finishing, sometimes later. Watch a bit of TV to unwind. Usually it's something that's not secular or garbage from the world, like Love Island, Married at First Sight. Again, this is all stuff that's entering your mind. I read a book and I go to bed. And I repeat that same thing pretty much every single day, right? And that's what's gotten me to where I am. So again, what does your day look like? But not just your day now, that 10.0 version of you. And if you don't know what that looks like, what do you have to do here? Well, that's the whole point of this video, is to go and find people that you look up to and study what they do. The next thing here is to describe the daily and weekly inputs that this new character focuses on within their business. This is going to be your biggest one to take away from this video, because there's a good chance you're someone who is in business and you obviously want to reach new levels. This is the stuff that I focus on within my business and I suggest to my clients. So it's tracking KPIs every single day. It's posting content every single day to the feed. It's putting up 5 to 15 plus stories on your Instagram account. It's moving your clients along. Now, there's going to be many other daily inputs here, but I'm not you in your business and I don't know what you need to do. So you need to get clear on these daily things. How do you get clear on those daily things? Go and study other people above you. The weekly inputs, a YouTube video. For me, I'm doing daily YouTube videos at the moment, but once I get to a certain number, which is a goal I have, I'll likely drop back to 2 to 3 videos a week from there. But YouTube videos are seriously underslept on in terms of building massive amounts of know, like, and trust with your audience. But I'm not getting into that in this video. YouTube video, a weekly wrap-up process. This is a revision that you take yourself through at the end of every single week. If there was one thing that I could put my success down to, it's the weekly wrap-up process. This is your point navigation system. It's your North Star. It's the north on the compass. It's the thing that allows you to go, this is what worked for the week and what didn't work. This is what I've got to do next week to move forward. Let's go. Final thing here is creating ads for testing. I'm huge on ads. So again, you might not be running ads. This might not be applicable to you. But ideally every week I'd be like rotating in new ads and trying out different ads and testing different ads and stuff like that. But I'm not here to tell you the inputs you need to focus on in your business. I'm here to show you how to create the character that you need to step into. So my friend, I hope this video has been helpful and valuable. Go and study people who are further along than you. Look at the breadcrumbs of success they have and start to emulate those things.